Happy New Year, everybody, and hope you guys had a fantastic holidays, Christmas. Now the new year, here we are, January 2nd. Bourbon and Bass coming your way, guys. I'm going to start the year off with Blade and Bow when it comes to the bourbon side of things. Most of you have seen it. It's got the little iconic key that hangs on the side of it. So I want to start off with that and then kind of roll into kind of, a recap of 2021 and then what we're looking forward to here in 2022 as we get our season started. So bourbon part of it, Blade and Bow, most of you have probably seen it. There are a lot of whiskey bourbon pundits that kind of say that this reminds them or is better than Blanton's. You see it right there. I'm not going to go that far. Blanton's is a single barrel. It's incredible what Blanton's does, how they keep the consistency of a single barrel so, basically consistent throughout, 1981, I think is one, Buffalo Trace. But not to put anything behind, Blade and Bow is a very, very good whiskey. I would not necessarily say I would compare it to Blanton's, but it's really good, guys. Blade and Bow, you guys know if you watch the show, I like a story. I like the history behind them and kind of the uniqueness of that brand and kind of they like to tell a story. So what a lot of you probably do not know is Blade and Bow, like you've seen the little keys. Guys, there are 5 keys. There are 5 different, they're a little bit different looking. They have different rings on them and they're collectible. So if you can collect all 5, you can go on Blade and Bow's website, join the key club once you've collected all 5 of these. So there's a reason for that. So Blade and Bow, actually, it was the famous Stitzel and Weller distillery, opened like in 1935, closed in 1992. Stitzel and Weller, not to be confused with Weller that you see sometimes, but that's Buffalo Trace Distillery. That's different. But the 5 keys are what they used to have hanging on the door at the Stitzel Weller Distillery, and they meant different things. Every time an employee, every time somebody walked in the door, the 5 keys reminded them of the process that it takes to make a really good bourbon or whiskey. The 5 keys are bourbon and grains, yeast, fermentation, distilling, and then aging. And of course, that's all the 5 steps, to actually distill a bourbon or whiskey. So they hung those 5 keys on the door for over 50 years, and it just reminded all the employees of, every time they walked in the door, of what it takes to make a really good bourbon, a really good whiskey. So they know how to do it. It did close in 1992, but it recently opened back up. So they're bringing back Blade and Bow, and that's what they're calling it now. They have the Blade and Bow whiskey. They also have a 22-year bourbon I have not had yet, but I'd really like to get my hands on it if I can ever find it. But it's really good. I wouldn't say it's one of my absolute favorites, but it's really good. It's very, very smooth when you first take it in. You think, oh gosh, it's smooth. And then there's like a really oaky taste that it's almost like a back taste. It kind of lingers for a few seconds, after you take it down, which is a little... it's almost rye-ish. If you guys like rye kind of sits on your tongue for a little while and it's kind of got a back taste to it. That's kind of the feel I got with it. But it's very smooth, guys. It is very good. You can get this Blade and Bow for, I think I paid like $47. So somewhere mid-40s to mid-50s when you find it. It's pretty easily findable. Anybody who carries a decent selection of bourbon and whiskeys. But it's really good. But I love the stories behind it. Again, it's a collector's item. You have to get all 5 keys and you can join their club and get a lot of stuff with that. But they reopened, of course, with the bourbon craze right now. But this is on a lot of people's favorite list, way at the top. I hear it a lot. It is really good. I don't know if it's one of my favorites, but it is really good. It is really smooth at first. But if you like that, definitely try it out. But of course, again, with the bourbon craze, they opened it back up. So they're trying to keep the same traditions intact. And it also kind of, actually, they say the 5 keys actually represent kind of Southern hospitality, and in kind of Southern hospitality, enjoying the finer things in life is what they say. They really want to keep it, kind of a home Southern hospitality feel. Louisville, Kentucky, I love that people in Kentucky and Tennessee call themselves the South, but yeah, y'all don't give me any crap for that. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of mid to upper United States, but they still call themselves Southern. But Kentucky, Tennessee, guys, I travel all the way, all over the United States, and Kentucky and Tennessee has some of the nicest people you'll ever meet in the world. So I'll give them a pass on that. But guys, Blade and Bow is pretty good. You can pick it up almost anywhere. Not a bad buy, but again, 5 keys. There's reasons for that. But check them out on the website too. I've done that a few times. So really good one. So cheers on the Blade and Bow. It's not bad at all, guys. Okay, so 2021, a lot's happened in 2021 for myself, the Bassmaster Elite Series Tour, and even personally, I'm a lot, you know. 2021 season for me started off really well. The first couple of events, I had a top 10 at St. John's River, and rolled into Tennessee, had another good finish. I was in the top 10 in AOY after the first 3 or 4 tournaments, and and I left a lot of meat on the bone this year, guys. I had some tournaments where I just, I had opportunities and I just didn't capitalize. There were several different tournaments that I can look back to and just say, what if, I would have landed that fish? What if I'd have made this decision? But, that's fishing. That's the sport that we live in. And then all the way into the end of the season. But, I finished, a little better than middle of the pack. I was only a few points out of qualifying for the Classic this year. But, that's all on me. I have to do better. I'm not happy with that finish. So we've got, a lot of people got cut this year, guys. A lot. 22 anglers got cut this past year. We've got some absolute hammers coming in as rookies. Some of them coming back from, Jekka Porosnik and Mike Iaconelli's coming back. So, this is going to be an extremely, extremely talented and competitive year. And it even was last year. And I've told you guys that before. So we cut it off at 90. We actually have like 10 less guys this year. So really looking forward to it, guys. I'm ready to get started for 2022. And then, personal life, it's been a great year, guys. I got engaged this year. Most of you guys have seen that. Got engaged to Annie. She is a beautiful and feisty little brunette that absolutely keeps me on my toes at all times. And, could not have asked for a better year and for a better companion and friend to spend the rest of my life with. So love her to death. She has 2 kids as well. We actually just got back from a Disney World trip all together. Her 2 girls, me, my 2 kids. We all went to Disney. Surprised the girls. They had absolutely no idea that we were taking them. Had a fantastic time hanging out with Mickey. It was just an incredible year, incredible trip, and I cannot wait to see what 2022 brings. We're actually going to be getting married in the Dominican Republic in April, so really looking forward to that. Big things coming this year, guys. So St. John's River, we're starting in St. John's River again. This will be the 4th year. This is my 4th year in the Bassmaster Elite Series. It'll be 4th year in a row. We start at the St. John's River, but we have a back-to-back. Then we go to the Harris Chain directly after the St. John's River. Another one that I am familiar with. I had a top 10 finish there in the Opens, 5 years or so ago. I'm fairly familiar with it. I'm comfortable there. A lot of vegetation, which is something I really love. And, it's all going to be weather dependent. That's St. John's River and Harris Chain. Anytime you're in Florida, you are completely dependent on the weather and moon phases. St. John's River has really taken a hit over the last 6 to 7 years, guys. They had a drought for a couple of years, a couple of hurricanes, a lot of the vegetation, not just in the St. John's River, but the entire state, Okeechobee, anywhere around there, really took a hit when it came to vegetation. So, St. John's River, it's right before a full moon. We are going to hit the full moon actually at Harris Chain, so that one could be an absolute giant fest. There's going to be fish all over beds. St. John's River, it's really hard to tell. We're not going to have a full moon phase there. There's always some fish spawning that time of the year there, as long as we have decent and consistent weather. That one may be a tough one this year. Harris Chain, though, I think that we're going to blow it out of the water there, and I think that's one you guys absolutely need to keep an eye on, especially those 2 in Florida. Florida fish, they like consistency. As long as we can get consistent weather during those tournaments, then we're going to smash them. But somebody always does. Somebody's going to figure them out, and hopefully it's this guy. I'm looking forward to getting ready to hit the road for that. Got the new Skeeter FX20 in the driveway, still waiting on some electronics and stuff for it. It's going to be kind of last minute. Waiting on wrap as well. I got a new truck coming as well, so we're gonna wrap all of that toward the end of the month to get ready to leave for February. So here we go. You know, it is a new year. It's 2022. I cannot believe how fast time flies. But you know, nobody's more ready than this guy right here. I got a lot of work to do this month. You know, I'm pretty sure everybody that you guys saw me represent last year is going to still be, you know, the same this year. And then also adding a few as well. But as soon as that becomes official, I'll let you guys know. But guys, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year from me to you. Thanks for everybody who watches, especially this show on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Any comments, guys, throw them in there. Anything that you would like me to talk about, we can do that. I love bourbons, I love bass fishing, and I love talking about the history behind bourbons, and I like catching big fish, and I hope you do too, guys. So I hope 2022 is a great year for y'all, guys, and I hope it's the same for me, and I'm pretty sure it will be. So guys, we will talk to you guys soon. Happy New Year. Tight lines, dream big.